Hello, it's Branwenn for Radio Normandie Rock, live from Hellfest, and we're happy to welcome Stratovarius. Timo. Hello, Timo.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. You joined the band in 1984?
Yeah.
Yeah. I started listening you in 1985.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was 12, and now I'm 50.
You're much younger than me.
How do you explain the longevity of the band?
Music.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we are still here. Because I think some people like our music, and we've been lucky enough to have those people. And I guess we've been also working quite a lot. And then, especially nowadays, we don't just play old hits, but we try to, progress. We try to, still compose new material and evolve in a way.
Yeah. Okay. The Eternal album was released in 2015, and Survive album in 2022.
What was released 2022?
Your last album, Survive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So why such a long wait between the two albums?
That was just because we were touring. We had lots of tours, and then also there was one so-called EP released that the record label wanted us to release something, because they were also thinking when are you gonna release the next album? And we were like, when it's ready. And then we spent one summer to do this EP with a couple of new songs. And it's just, we are not like machine that we press the button and a new song comes out.
Okay.
So it just took 7 years, but I'm happy that we didn't release anything like, not so good album in between, just because I know that a lot of bands, they want to release something every 2 years that they are able to be touring,
Okay.
But we wanted to make as good album as possible, and it took 7 years in the end. So, but I don't know if it will now take 7 years for the next album. You never know. So.
Okay. And the COVID is a bad period for you. Do you have make a concert pay to pay for the fan? Or?
We didn't do any.
No.
We didn't like the idea, because it's like I did one myself, one sort of like acoustic pay to view show, but that was just like 3 of us playing, not Stratovarius. But as a band, we thought it's not our thing, because we want to have the live audience, and it would be boring to play for the walls, just nobody there, pretend, Of course there would be some screens, but yeah, we skipped that, and I'm happy that we skipped that, because it's like it's not our thing. But also you have to keep in mind that also not everybody is living in Finland. So Jens is living in Sweden. I don't know if he would have been able to fly even to Finland, so.
Okay, you've got your own sound, your own sonority. We listened the first note when we listened the album, and we know it's you. Isn't it a case of staying the same or not changing anything?
In our case, of course, and I think probably for most of the bands, when you are creating something new, I know that some bands are always, they want to repeat the same
Yes.
kind of songs, but we want to sound Stratovarius, but it's also interesting for us to, come up with something new, like some a little bit new sound. But then again, we don't want to change totally, and that's very, very difficult to compose a song that has something new, but it still sounds like Stratovarius. And I think we have succeeded in that. It's not easy, but that's who we are. And especially with this Survive album, we changed actually quite a lot. We changed the whole way to compose the songs.
Yes.
Because in the past it was like in the beginning it was Mr. Tolkki composing basically everything, and then it was me and Jens a little bit. When Matias came in, it's still the same that then one guy composed his song, but now we decided that we changed it totally. So it was Matias, me and Jens in my studio. We went there for weeks and weeks, and like morning started with a cup of coffee. Then I asked Matias, do you have something? He said that, yeah, maybe I have something like a riff. Or then I had some melody idea or some riff, and then we started working on one idea and not with the whole song. So I think that makes the difference in this case. There's a lot of more energy, and I think the songs are better than on the last few albums. So because we worked together with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power metal is very popular in Finland, in the Nordic countries, than here in France. Also, Sorcerer band. But do you know why? It's the most in the metal in Finland, power metal.
That's a good question. I think it might, of course, have something to do with the Finnish nature and melancholy and so on. But when I joined Stratovarius in '94, melodic metal was very unpopular. There was no other band playing this kind of music. There was maybe there was like Amorphis at the time, but that's totally different. And then there was, of course, Hanoi Rocks, who played totally different kind of music. So I remember some of my friends told me, not really good friends, but some people told me that why do you join this kind of a band? You will never make any success with this kind of music. But this is what we wanted to do, and but there's also, of course, other genres in Finland in metal which are popular. It's not only power metal, but power metal, it's always been there, like since when we started that in Finland. And but also we have played, like, when was it, 2002 or 3, we played, I think, Les Zenith in Paris.
Okay.
Was it with Angra? I don't remember. And of course now we were supporting Megadeth last week.
Yes.
But I'm hoping that we could play more shows in France, because on the last European tour we only played Paris. But we used to play Toulouse and other places, and so hopefully next tour. Yeah.
In the what subject do you like to talk about in your albums?
Well, there's a lot of subjects. We don't really write so many, like, fantasy stories.
Yes.
That we don't. We have only one on the last album, which is like typical power metal. But then nature is, of course, important, especially to me and Jens. So now there's a song called World on Fire, which is about that. But then there's basically I'm writing what I see around me, and if something pisses me off, like there's like war going on now, and then there's some political. I don't want to be too political, but I hate to see all these leaders who are like narcissists, and they don't give a fuck about what is good for the people, but they just want to get their ego up there, and like power hungry people, they really piss me off. So of course I'll talk about stuff like that.
Yeah. And are there any subject you wouldn't to talk in your album? You never write about a subject or?
Well, I'm not sure, because I only want to write about stuff that I'm interested in, so I'm not interested in all the stuff.
The artwork in your last album is sublime, magnifique.
Yeah.
And I find it's full of hope in the little plant that spring from that school among the rubbish. Who makes the artwork?
He's a Hungarian guy, Gyula Havanchak is his name. He's been doing the last album covers since I think 2009. And he's super creative. We gave him some ideas that what we would like to have there, and then he made some sketches, and then he's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
He represents the title of the album, Survives.
Yeah.
I love it. Today you're playing on the main stage this afternoon, and it's not your first time in Hellfest.
I think we played 2009, Jens said.
Yes.
But it was not this big. It was smaller somehow. I don't remember so well.
At 4 p.m. this afternoon.
Yeah, today is 4 p.m.
Yes.
So and only 45 minutes.
Yes. After so many years, do you feel any stress before talking in the stage? Oh no, it's cool.
I think there's always some excitement, because if there's no like positive stress, then it will not be a good show. I once had like no anxiety or anything, and I went on the stage like, oh, okay, I go to work, blah blah, and it was a shit show. So there has to be some positive stress.
Yes.
Of course, the negative stress to me is like, this is so early, and it's like difficult to wake up. I know it sounds stupid. I woke up like 10 o'clock, but then we traveled on the bus and I didn't sleep so well. But if the show would be like after 6, then it would be easier to sing. And also 45 minutes, so it's a little bit short. 1 hour is okay, because then you don't have to rush, you don't have to hurry. But now it's like, you're like, can we play the last song? So it's
5
like
minutes.
Yeah, so it's a little bit, but we adapt. It's gonna be good.
Yes. And do you prefer to play in festival or in smaller concert halls? Personally, I prefer to see you in small concerts.
Well, sorry.
Because it's more intimate.
Yeah.
And we know the public can come for you, to really come for you.
Yeah, I like both, because they are totally, like you said, they're different. Like on the festivals, I think of course the headliners are headliners, but for bands who are playing as early as us, for us tonight to play is like, I think the main thing is to present our band to the people who don't know about our band. So this is important, and of course it's great to play if there's like tens of thousands of people, but of course there's no intimacy at all. It's like people are there, and you only can play like, I think we play 7 songs or something in 45 minutes. So there's so many songs that we need to skip. But when we go to a club, very often it's much better show at the club, because then you can, first of all you can do your own sound check, and you have plenty of time, and especially in festivals there can be some technical problems that can ruin your show. But like you said, at the clubs, the feeling is very often better, because people know your song, so most of the people know your song.
Yeah.
And you can play longer. So it's...
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to end my interviews with a little anecdote. If you have one to tell me, whether it's happened in concert or in the studio during the recording of the album, do you have an anecdote to see me?
Sorry,
An anecdote to see me, what happened in concert, a positive anecdote or negative, a funny or not.
So I should tell you like what
something what happened. I lost my guitar before concert,
okay.
in studio.
Well, yeah.
During the recording, it's not.
Some funny things.
Yes.
Well, then it was not so funny. But was it last year? We were supposed to support Iron Maiden in Milano to play 1 hour, and then the night before we were rehearsing in Helsinki, and then we got a message from Finnair that our flight is cancelled. We were like, what the fuck? What do we do now? Then we quickly called the booking agency that you need to book us a flight. So then they booked us a new flight next morning, and there was a van coming from Milano to, where was it, Zurich or somewhere, and we put all the stuff in the van and we started going, and then I started smelling inside this car that everything is not right, because I've been driving cars, so I told the guys that this will break down soon. So the car broke down in a fucking tunnel under the Alps where you can't stop. So then we were there, and this driver didn't do anything. He was just, well, and we were like, we need to be there in 2 hours. He was like, I don't know if he was Italian or French or Austrian, whatever. But then we had to like go to the tunnel. There's like these telephone booths if accident happens, and suddenly, like after 1 hour, because we were standing there, nothing happened. And trucks were coming like 100 kilometers per hour. It was a very big risk. But in the end, we missed the show. We were there like 50 minutes or something before we were supposed to finish. So we played only 2 songs, and I could only sing 1 song. It was really pity, but shit happens. And then once I burned my hand, my skin went completely off in Wacken, and you know, everything can happen. So hopefully nothing happens today.
Okay, thank you very much for this interview. I see you later in the photo pit.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
For me and Hope, the rain lets up.
We'll see.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Merci
much.
beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.